Whether it be business or personal, you need professionals that can supply you with all your personal protection equipment. So when it comes time to have masks, gloves, hand sanitizer, or reliable disinfectants for the studio to keep me and my guests safe, I know ROI Marketing and Safety have got me and my guests covered. So log on to www.roippe.com or drop them an email at sales@roippe.com and let them keep you and yours safe. Now, let's step out on the block. Here on the Block Podcast, we're always trying to find new guests to find out pertinent information and content to help the urban community thrive. So, when I saw this gentleman's post on Facebook about his story, I knew that I had to have him on the block. Today's guest is a business owner with some very important information for our viewers. Our guest today has found himself in the same dilemma as a lot of entrepreneurs during this pandemic, and that is not on the good side of business. But fortunately for us, he is going to share his story and experience with us and hopefully give someone the advice or knowledge they may need if they have found themselves in this unfortunate circumstance. I would like for you to welcome to the Block Podcast the CEO of the Block Bistro, Mr. Terry Anthony.
You the engineer, you the host, you everything, dog. You got to do what you got to do, huh?
Hey, I got to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? I can't roll over and lay down.
Hey, come on now. Come on. We already talked about that.
We about to talk about
exactly.
some more. You know what I'm saying? we about to get all off into that.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that at all, boss.
All righty. Well, man, welcome to the Block Podcast, my man.
Man, I am honored to be here, dog. This is an honor to see. The information and the opportunity that you put out, man, and looking at all the people that you deal with, and we deal with some of the same folks.
Yeah,
so it's good to be
here.
Yeah.
I've talked to a few people, about you, and
don't believe everything now. Hold on now. Wait a minute.
So you can't sing?
Ooh,
what?
Hey, now wait a minute. You gonna at least let us warm up?
We gonna do it like that?
I mean, dang, man. Like I thought we had a list of questions we was doing it. Now you done put me on the spot. Cut. Like, wait a minute, where's my agent? Like what? How did we get? No. Okay, I've been known to, every once in a while.
I just want to shoot that one out there real quick. Let's see where I've been.
You know what I mean? You ain't even gonna warm up, man. You sure this ain't the Breakfast Club? Like Charlamagne, listen, warm up a little bit. Let me get comfortable.
Put some respect on his name.
Put some respect on my name. You know what I'm saying? I need some water.
Oh man. But hey, I'm glad, man, to have you here, man. I know, man, that, like I said, when I saw your post, and went in and read,
absolutely,
I was like, whoa. I was like, yeah, he's got something up here that my guests could use.
Right.
Man, my viewers could really use.
Absolutely. And it was great that you contacted me because a lot of times you need encouragement and to know that people know your struggle and understand they feel it. It's motivating to let you know, hey, let's push a little bit. Let's get a little further today than we were yesterday. So
yeah, man. Because what you're doing, you know what I mean? I mean, like I said, some people have been able to do it.
Right.
Others have not been fortunate enough.
Correct.
And I was like, man, I got to get him on here because I know he's got some information that, may turn somebody's life around.
Absolutely. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it.
Man,
I don't want to be liable if I don't.
I don't want
to. If I turn somebody's life around the wrong way, I don't want to be liable either. Okay.
So I went bankrupt listening to
exactly.
What happened?
Hey man, who's that dude who told me to go do this, man?
I don't know.
I lost everything. Yeah,
I just met him on the block.
Right, I just met him. I just met him on the block. Hey, the views of Terry Anthony are not the views of the Block. I just want the disclaimer on there now.
If you were on the Block Podcast 15 years ago, you may be and listen to Terry Anthony.
Exactly.
You could be liable.
You could have a check waiting for you. Oh no, this is trouble.
Oh man, hey man, we gotta have fun.
Oh,
man. We're on the block.
Come
we
on,
gotta
man.
have some fun, man.
If you're on the block, you gotta have fun.
But do me a favor, man. Go ahead, man, and say, let people know who you are, man, and you know what I mean.
My name is Terry Anthony. I am the owner of the new the Block Bistro and Grill at 115 West Market Street, right across from McCormick and Smith's, behind TJ Maxx, inside the historical William H. Block building. Okay. I'm also a Subway owner and the owner of a little small, what I would call dive kind of bar called the Star Sandwich Shop at 443 Pennsylvania Street downtown. So that's who I am. Father of 5, God-fearing man, happily married to Neil. We're celebrating our 8th year of marriage, and that's what's up, dog.
And don't forget, go ahead and shout it
out.
Throw it up.
And I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Just in case. I didn't know. He gave me the green light, so hey.
You're good to go, man.
Hop in here.
You can throw that up on the block.
Right,
you can throw it up
okay,
on the
cool.
block.
I didn't know.
When I was younger, a very nice extra large queue allowed me to live.
And that's most of us.
I've been thankful ever since then to the Q Dogs. Considering I was only like 97 pounds and he was probably 260.
Yeah,
I'm grateful.
Good business decision. Good business decision to hang around us. Trust me.
All right, man. So let's get into it, man. Now, okay, I'm gonna set the mode here so they know exactly what we're going with this. Now you had the Subway.
Right.
Okay. Right. And due to COVID, that went left.
Right.
And then we pivoted into the Block Bistro and Grill.
Correct.
All right. Now, got that set up. Here we go. All right. Now, go. I want to know, how did the Subway franchise even come in? How did you know what I'm saying? How did you, because what?
Go for it. No, you.
Before that, insurance agency?
Yeah. So,
all right.
I've always been an entrepreneurial spirit.
Okay.
So, when I first came to Indianapolis to play ball, and that didn't really work out, so I really just stayed up here, worked at J.C. Penney's, got a job, and I got into the insurance agency, American Family Insurance, back in 1997. And 99, I'm sorry. And I did that for a few years. And then when the housing market crashed for everybody, insurance crashed for me. Okay. And so we were flipping houses and doing things of that nature and doing insurance. And when the housing market crashed, everything crashed. So I had to go get a job. Okay. And so bounced from job to job. I was selling insurance. I was selling security systems for ADT. Okay. And then my last corporate job, I was actually a business solutions account manager for Bright House, which is now Spectrum. Right. And so, just like most folks, you get tired of the corporate runaround. You get tired of somebody telling you, "Hey, man, you got, we've got you operating in the low income area because it's a lot of opportunities there." What? Like, okay, yeah, and not to say, I loved my territory. I had 46201, 46203, but it wasn't an area only I could go in. So they were strategic in what they did. Okay. And though we mashed out there, still only so many beeper spots and cell phones and mom and pop spots that we hooked up. But you can only get to a certain level with that. Right. And so got tired of it and said, you know what, Lord, I trust you. And what happened is I became knowledgeable of a Subway. Okay. At 160 East Market, right across from the city county building. It was run down. They were about to shut it down. And
it's been there for a while.
It's been there for a while. Yeah. When I say a while, it was like 1991, I think it was built. Yeah. And just not really well managed. It was, people at the city county building didn't come in there, didn't go. And it was at a price point I could rock with it. Okay. But it was like, okay, I'm going to just do this on the side. You know how we do. Okay. We're going to do it on the side. Man, I got in that joint for 1 week. Hey, the cooler went out. The cooler went out. I had to put on an apron. I had to make sandwiches. I was like, dog, I ain't going to be able to do this. But once you make that investment, you got to
right, yeah.
That's kind of how we got into the Subway thing, man. It was like, we trusted God to say, okay, $5 footlong is going to feed my family. Let's go.
And when was this when you took it over?
It was March 16th of 2016. March, yeah,
And
2016.
you're coming up on the anniversary.
Yeah, coming up on 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years.
Okay, now is the Subway down, or are you still going, or
No, so what ended up happening is over the last 4 years, I did some phenomenal numbers. I went in and I just was us.
Okay.
You know, we hustlers.
Right.
We're going to go in there and we're going to figure out, well, what's the problem? Let's fix it. I spent a lot of time, a lot of elbow grease, and was able to get that store from one of the worst producing stores in the state to actually the one of the top. We were double-digit gains 2 years in a row.
Okay.
And so was able to take that, get another store on 96 and Michigan.
okay?
And then from that, Subway corporate, hey man, you need to remodel. You need to expand. You're doing such big things out of this old raggedy store. You need to remodel. I was fine with it like it was because we were doing really good business. Last year we started a remodel and we expanded. There was a little coffee shop next door to that Subway.
Yep.
Took over the coffee shop and made this big super Subway. Expanded it and
I haven't even seen it since you did that.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to because unfortunately, when COVID hit, after I just opened up for my remodel in February, COVID hit in March.
Man.
And the landlord still wanted us to continue to be able to pay rent, and there was nobody down there. So when the governor, said, "Hey, we got to close down," or it was stay-at-home orders.
Yeah.
So the area. There's no
Right.
residents there.
And almost everybody downtown can work from home if possible.
Right, and they're commuting from outskirts.
Yeah, so
and there was nothing.
Yeah,
I mean, it
there's
was
no one
literally
down there.
like a tumbleweed. Some days you saw rolling down the street because there was nobody down there. And so, of course, we thought we would be able to work something out with the landlord, or Subway would come to our rescue, and none of that happened. So, unfortunately, even though we had sunk a lot of assets into that space to redo it, April 30th of 2020, we had to close. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was tough because that was the first one. And
Yeah.
COVID caught everybody just completely
No one.
out of nowhere. And as a new business owner, your business model isn't set up for you not to have business coming in. Like, hold on, wait a minute. What? Like, that's what that reserve was for. But how long are we going to be at this? And it just, it was just devastating, man, for us to have to empty the store and go through the whole scenario of letting somebody take your dream apart piece by piece by piece and then take the keys from you. It's a day I'm never going to forget.
Right.
It was a tough situation. It was really tough.
Yeah, cause I definitely, man, I was like, and I can't wait for you to get to the bounce back of this story.
Yeah. So you know the end.
I like it.
We win, just so you know. We win.
Like it.
Exactly.
I'm always for the underdog, man. I'm always for the underdog.
Man.
So, now, can you explain the difference between a franchise and regular ownership? So
that's a tutorial I learned the hard way.
Here we go.
So you definitely need to make sure your listeners listen to this.
Okay.
Love the franchise opportunity. Franchise opportunity is kind of what I would call restaurants for dummies. It gives you all of the tools to be successful, but just like anything else, it's at a cost.
Right.
You think the business ownership, but they're going to be able to dictate to you what they can and what they cannot do. There's pros and there's cons to it.
Okay.
The pros is that if you and I go and start a mom and pop, nobody knows. There's going to be some risk associated to it, to where people may not necessarily walk through the door.
Right.
Where you go with a franchise, they know Papa John's, Subway.
They've already built a household name.
They've built a household name, so you're going to have people that are trusting the product.
Exactly.
Come in automatically. One drawback to that. That company is going to make sure they are taken care of at all costs. Though you have your business, their model is really set up for them to win, not really necessarily for you.
Right.
And the reason why I say that is this: there's royalties you have to pay. Okay. So let's say that $5 footlong that everybody loves. Hey, it's a $5 footlong. But that price point for me to make a profit is $6.99. The company is going to get their 12, 15, 13, 14%, regardless of whether we sell it for $5 or whether we sell it for $6.99.
Right.
But my costs don't change.
Yeah.
So my profit when you take that $1.99 off, it's dwindling to almost nothing. But my royalties stay the same. So they're still getting their percentage, even though my profit goes down. So, like I said, that's the difference between franchising and when you own your own. When you own your own, it's all coming to you. You don't have anybody dictating to you that you can't serve this or you can't serve that. But the trade-off is they want to be taken care of, compensated monthly, weekly, daily almost for what you sell.
Okay. And then do they have control of the marketing too?
Everything.
How you
everything. So part of that
their
royalty
brand,
is
their
them
name.
marketing. Yeah. So there's I can't go and say, hey, I want a fried chicken sandwich at Subway, or I can't go do a ham hock. You know what I'm saying? I can't go onto a podcast like this one and say I want to do a commercial without having some corporate approval of here's the script, here's what you need to say. I say it's one level outside of corporate America, but you still have those same corporate America standards and stringent ceilings, that you would if you were sitting at a desk working for somebody.
Okay. Huh. All right. Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Now, are there any preparations that you would advise for like entrepreneurs to put in place for something like COVID? Now that you have went through it, is there something that they could do?
You want me to be honest?
Yeah.
No. I mean, who knew the world was going to stop spinning on its axis?
Yeah.
You can't plan for that. And I don't think even the government or anybody else plans for it. What I will tell your listeners is this. I find it as a true testament of who you are, being able to know how to change and adapt to your environment. That's not a business thing. That's just a life thing.
Right.
If you're still doing what you were doing in 1993 or 1999 or 2006 or 2016, and you haven't found what that pivot that me and you have been talking about from the beginning of our conversation, then you're setting yourself up to either one, allow competition to come in and replace you, or two, be taken out by any change, whether it's COVID, whether it's a fad of some kind, whether it's a change in culinary, whatever you may do. It may be, okay, cool, you were cutting grass this way because that's how you cut grass for the last 30 years. Well, there may be a new pattern. You need to be up on that. So I would tell your listeners, whatever industry they're in, stay up on your periodicals, stay up on your continuing education, stay with whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing. Don't think you're the hottest, greatest, whatever it is, because as soon as you rest on your laurels, that's when you're about to fall.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now you said I want to know figuring out. We had talked and you said figuring out what is happening that needs to be happening.
Right.
That is one of your important things that you go by when in business.
Absolutely.
How does that help you, and how do you go about it?
Well, it's just like this. So I use the rap game because of my music background. You kind of pick that. Is this? If I sound like Jay-Z, there's already one of those.
Yes, there is.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so and he's pretty good at doing hoes. I don't know. I think he's doing a bang up job at that. Hot wife, kids, millionaire, billionaire, whatever. And so, as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, if you are following the pattern of somebody else who's already doing that, you're limiting yourself.
Okay.
So, being successful by whatever means your listener, they will have to dictate what successful is for them.
Right.
But to do that, you got to find a niche. You got to find something that they have to come to you for.
Exactly.
They have to be able to say, "Oh, wait a minute. If I want to get the urban ear and be able to educate them on what they need to be doing, I need to go talk on the Block podcast or whatever your niche is." You got to make sure that you are in that lane that no one else is in, and do it better than anybody else is doing. So.
Okay. All right. Cool. Now, what has this COVID, the whole thing, taught you, personal and business?
The wonderful thing I think COVID is let me know. We all of us of faith, and I hope some of your listeners can relate to that. Understand that. we aren't in control of anything.
Yeah, apparently.
And we say that cliche every Sunday or whenever we were like, all right, cool, God's in control. But until God completely shuts the world down, you don't really know how little bit of control you actually have. So COVID taught me a couple of things. When the pandemic first hit, I didn't realize how much time I wasn't spending with my family until I had to spend time with your family. And the nostalgia of that was off the chain that first week or two. It was like, wow, this is great. Like, I didn't know you did that. Oh, wow. And that's good for about 2 weeks. And then you realize there's a reason I'm not a school teacher, because I don't know what the square root of pi is. No. And you realize that you get a greater appreciation for those who have to deal with your kids on a daily basis. But you also realize how quickly this thing can change for you. So it was great spending time with my family and my kids. And then you kind of figure out that whatever you find that you thought was important really isn't that important when all the distractions are taken away. Yeah. I
liked it.
Oh, I loved it. Like,
yeah.
You want to talk about the best sleep I had?
There was no pressure of me coming to your birthday party. There was no pressure of me coming out. There was, There
was no pressure. I'm not paying my mortgage. No, don't worry about it. I'm not paying my light bill.
I had to pay all that.
Then you had to call them and tell them.
Well, I mean, I worked all the way through, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I was
for us business people, there were, for the first time, you actually saw when you called people and you told them your situation that they actually
helped.
Yeah. Not like, okay, all right, listen, we're going to cut your lights off. Sorry, everything's going bad for you. If you don't pay this amount, it was good to see the humanity of people and see people genuinely understand that business owners like myself were in a real tough pickle that we had no way of being in. So that was really good. But it was a really strange, peaceful time. It was a peace in that time that I don't think I could ever experience again, because I hope, pray to God, Lord, it's your decision, that you don't bring COVID 20, 21, and 22 anytime soon. But it was a peace that we had during that time when you could take away all the job stress, all the depending on payroll and all the bills. It was just, we all in the house and we ain't got nothing to do but just watch Netflix. Like, I didn't know Netflix had all these different things. So I watched a lot of movies during that time. But yeah, so if I learned anything from COVID, it really let me know the value of my family and really what's important. Sometimes we fight and we chase that rat so long we don't realize why we chasing the rat.
Man, I definitely experienced that. Yeah, like I said, I almost enjoyed it. I mean, for me, like I said, I worked all the way through it. But what it did allow me, it almost like it slowed everything around me down, and like I could really focus on the podcast and what I needed to get done, which is weird because in all actuality, nothing really changed for me.
Right.
I didn't go out that much before, so that didn't really bother me. You know what I mean?
Right.
I went to work every day, the same thing, so. I didn't really see too much of a change, except for, like I said, it kind of seemed like everything slowed down, which was I didn't get it, but
which is good.
Which is
good. And the reality is, we probably need to do that more often.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Now let's get into it. Okay, the Block Bistro.
Woo woo! Yeah, I told you we win. I told y'all to stay tuned. Like, for real. Like, I know you didn't think I was gonna stay here down the whole time. He wasn't gonna bring me here for that.
Exactly.
All right.
Okay. Now you were able to swing around and open up next Sunday. Next Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday.
Woo-hoo!
You're going to be able to open up the Block Bistro and Grill.
Amazing.
There are not a lot of people that have been able to lose their business, and within almost the same year.
Correct.
If you wanted to do it by months, then you in the same year.
Absolutely.
Able to open up another business.
When you say that, like it's the first time I've really heard somebody else say it. It's like, wow, that's
I mean,
crazy.
when you're when you're looking around, you know what I mean, at the bigger picture of everyone, that's not a story you hear a lot.
Absolutely.
So, that's the reason why, what I mean? Like I said, at first, I saw the block. And
Yeah, because that was
I thought you
catchy.
were trying to steal my stuff. So
he's like, hold on, man. I got a copyright on that, man.
I said, wait
Who's
a
this
minute.
dude? Right.
What he doing with the block? But I said, he's good. He's good. He's feeding us on the block.
Right,
so,
right. No doubt. No doubt.
I'm just
He's
talking
feeding
crazy.
Your mind, I'm going to feed your body. It's good. We're going to work together.
So, okay. But how were you able to do this?
Yeah. So let me first and foremost say that there's definitely a God in heaven that is shining down on me to be able to have things worked in the way that they did.
Exactly.
I think when you and I first talked, I explained that the same storm that destroys is the same storm that can propel you into places if you allow it. The funny thing about it is through that whole storm, he was working and navigating things that if I was open to it, which I would say that I think I was, he was propelling me to a new place. So, case in point, lost the business, went through the whole, woe was me, spent the time at home and said, all right, let's reset. And then we had the George Floyd situation.
Exactly.
Breonna Taylor situation, Ahmaud Arbery.
Which even if you had an opportunity of opening back up the subway, you were going to get hit again.
You got it.
Yeah.
So when the people of Indianapolis decided we had enough of seeing everything going on with Black Lives Matter, and the civil unrest broke out, and there was looting and different things going on, the old subway where I was at was vandalized. And I had left in April, and this was June. And so I was thinking to myself, wow, you know what? I got out just in time that I didn't have to worry about that.
Right.
So I was like, okay, God, I get it. I don't know how I'm going to feed my family, but you at least kept me from having my stuff looted and burned down and things of that nature. And so, but at the same time, in that same area, TJ Maxx had their windows blocked. The block and the restaurant that was formerly there was torched, and the windows and all of that situation. And the thing about that building, the William H. Block Historical Building, there's 167 tenants in the building. And so you're rioting and you have all of that going on, and your whole bottom level is burnt out and broken out, and you still living on top of that thing. Yep. Just imagine that.
Yeah.
You're looking out of your window and you see the civil unrest and some of the chaos that went on in June. I've heard some stories from some people in the building that was just.
I can only imagine because the view is it's perfect.
It's perfect. So you're seeing this thing happening, and so the same situation I avoided at Subway was the same situation that opened the opportunity at the block. The previous restaurant didn't want to come back, wasn't able to pivot, didn't have insurance. Number of different situations. Right. So, TJ Maxx had to make a decision on whether they were going to even come back into the facility. And so the property manager who used to eat at my Subway, come on now, look at God. Whoa! Come on, look at God. That same property manager remembered what I had done to the Subway and transform it to get it back.
Yeah.
And one of her tenants was a mutual friend of mine, Jerry Wade, which is the DJ as far as on WTSC.
I know Jerry very well.
Yeah. She reached out to Jerry like, listen, Jerry, I know you know the guy. Get him. I need to talk to him. Come on, I need to talk to him. Jerry reached out to me. He said, man, the property manager of our building needs to get in contact with you, man. She's got a space for you. What? Okay, what? Okay.
Yeah, I know you're like, wait a minute. Oh, you're a DJ, so wait a minute. What's going on here?
No, just get with her, get in conversation. Long story short, in July, I met with her. She was proposing to me about, taking over this space. Now, mind you, it's boarded up.
Right.
Burnt up, tore up from the floor up.
How would you like this?
I've got this brand new beauty of
something.
What? Like, no. And we're still in a pandemic. We're just coming out of it. And I just lost everything on the crosser. I said, her name is Kanika Ayers. I said, Kanika, thank you for your time. Sorry, listeners. Hell no. What's wrong with you? Like, I'm not coming to open a restaurant in a pandemic. Come down here in the middle of civil unrest. You ain't got no windows. What are you showing me? There's nothing here. And she said, listen, just think about it. There's nothing to think about. I can't go back to my wife with this. What do you
Think and thought. It's over.
It's over. Can you give me a second? No. And so I walked away from that situation like, man, you got to be crazy. And Kanika was persistent. Like, one thing, those that know her, she was persistent. She had seen what I had done, and she's like, listen, I got to get him in there, and I got to let him know he's not over there, he's over here. And this ownership group believes in him. So she kept calling.
Wow.
What is wrong with this woman? Oh. She said, listen, I want you to meet my owner. She flew the owner of the business who lives in Ohio. He flew down, came to Stars over in Pennsylvania and said, listen, I got to have you. I said, no, you don't. Got to have you. What do you mean you got to have me? I saw what you did over the Subway. Kanika speaks volume. Tell me what it's going to take. So I'm going to make you a dumb offer. It's going to be stupid. If like I'm telling you, it's not going to make any sense for you. Try me. Okay. And he went with it.
Wow.
So then he pulled my card. He said, okay, cool. So you going to do this? Yeah. Okay. So they made it to where all of my objections, I couldn't have them anymore. And I had an ownership group behind me that said, listen, if you just do 1/10 of what you did at Subway, you're now increasing the value of our building. Right. You're now going to be able to give us something to go back to TJ Maxx and say, come on, TJ Maxx, come back. Because that was what they were. They were linchpinning me on saying, all right, I can't have all these tenants move out. I can't have my retail spot leave. Let's give them an incentive. And so in November, we were able to ink a deal that took away all my objections and allowed me to use my creativity. And that's how we ended up where we were. Wow. But the reality of it is had it not been for the same storm that lost me on the other side of the market, the
only reason why she called you is because she saw what had happened at that store.
Right. So I'm still boo-hooing. I'm still licking my wounds over there thinking, okay, what was me? I had done this big project and nobody's going to see it. I lost everything, but not realizing that was literally just a seed for what was to come, which was a greater blessing that we now didn't have to deal with royalties. We didn't have to deal with, that corporate mantra. I'm in a position with an ownership group that is saying, okay, cool. We believe you can run a business, you can start a business, and let's go. And that's what's happened. And now I'm opening up as a minority business owner on the circle. To say that is crazy. Like, I'm across from High 47.
You're dead
McCormick
smack in the center between the state capitol and the Monument Circle.
And Monument Circle, Prime Real Estate, Bupa DeBecco, Weber Grill, Roof Chris, all of these top notch. And then little old Terry Anthony is the Block Bistro and Grill. And we're excited about it. We're ecstatic about the opportunity. But had it not been for that same storm that wiped us out on the other side, we would now be positioned to say, we're going to be a minority business in prime real estate downtown. And being a big part of what's going to bring people back downtown is they're going to come back to a downtown that has somebody and some things and a place that looks like them, thinks like them, and will have something on the menu for them where they can feel comfortable. And I'm just glad God used me and that I was able to position myself to be open enough to allow him to prune me over this whole year to say, do you trust me? Okay. I got you out of Egypt. Now I'm telling you, go back. Right. And it's worked out. Knock on wood, some wood. We're positioned ourselves to where next weekend will be a fantastic day that we're going to celebrate for a long, long time.
Okay. Now, you sitting and just going off of what you just said, because you almost mentioned it a little bit, but though you had said something to me, we spoke about the block and what the term, the block, meant to you.
Right.
and what your ideas for the Block Bistro and how you were going to I want to say that the atmosphere
Come on now.
that you
Absolutely.
wanted to bring to
Absolutely.
your customers. Could you explain that for the guests, how you told that to me?
The thing about that is I don't think God makes a mistake. Well, he knows the climate that we're in. The climate that we just came out of. And whether you're Republican, Democrat, we're not going to discuss that as far as it's a whole nother podcast for another day. We're not doing that today. But our differences have separated us so much that we almost feel like we're not Americans anymore. We're either black Americans or white Americans, female Americans, male Americans, Republicans. We're American.
Right.
And so when this opportunity presented itself, I remember riding up to the building and I said, wow, the Block. I said, wait a minute.
Block.
The block, that makes sense. Wait a minute. The block I grew up on had Hispanics, it had blacks, it had whites, it had Orientals, it had Asians, it had everybody. And we did it. We listened to Cyndi Lauper. We didn't care whether it was white music, black music. We Menudo and you know what I'm saying? Run DMC was Walk This Way and Aerosmith. We didn't care.
Right.
And so it hit me like, wait a minute. We need a spot in this climate, in this time, that's going to bring us all back together. That says regardless of whether you are from the north side, south side, west side, east side, whether you're Protestant or Baptist, a place where you can feel comfortable and a place that says you can be yourself. We will have Taco Tuesdays. We'll have Wing Wednesdays. We'll have Soul Food Saturdays and things of that nature because that's what a block. We want to make sure that the Block Bistro looks like every block in America, looks like what you and I see when we go home. We see whites and blacks living in the same neighborhood, putting our kids on the same bus and trying to figure out how we're going to operate and navigate in this world. That's what you're going to come and that's what you're going to see when you get to the block. A block that is a place for everybody. And I don't care how hard it is. I don't care, what people think that I'm naive. That's my goal, and that's what it's going to be.
Even Sigmas can come?
But you know what? There's a couple of, we may have to have a Sigma night to where I have my GM and my staff go, but I ain't going to be able to be there. No, man. We love the Divine Nine. We love everybody, man. We want everybody to feel comfortable in there. And, because, man, just think about the last 4 years. Like, literally, it was almost, if you don't think like me, then something's wrong with you. Come on, man. We ain't got to agree. I might not like what you like.
Right.
We can still have a beer.
Right.
We can still eat.
Yeah.
And I've always been told that the easiest way to get to someone's soul is through their stomach. And if I feed you, you're going to at least be receptive. I may not change your mind.
Right.
But I can change your heart.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Man. All right. Yeah, I dig that, man. I'm the Block. So,
the Block.
It
Come on,
is.
you know what the
already
Block can do.
I just, the whole, premise behind, what you're trying to do, I'm with it.
There's nobody with it. I got one customer. The Block podcast is definitely go down with my vision.
Hey, I'm with it, because, that's kind of, what we do here, is just to uplift. You know what I'm saying? It's not about, where you come from or who you are. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's what are you doing? What are you contributing?
Yeah.
That's the end of the day. You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, I heard a sermon once. And it rocked me to the core, saying at the end of the day, only thing that matters is the dash. Because when they put it on your tombstone, all it says is born this day, died this day. What's your dash? Ooh, man. I was like, what's your dash?
What was in your dash?
What was in your dash, boss?
What was in your dash, brother? Okay. Now I know that you've done the entrepreneur thing. Mm-hmm. What made you jump into that? What made you, say, I'm gonna do it?
We've all been around that water cooler complaining.
Oh, yeah.
We've been there. Oh, my boss is that. They don't know this. But it gets to a point to where you're either complaining or you're going to do something about it. And that's kind of how I had the entrepreneurial spirit. It's just, as a football player, as an athlete, you have a problem. You got to fix it. What are you going to do to fix it? And the only way that I could fix it, being upset with corporate America and limits and stereotypes of they only put us in places where we are instead of putting us in places where we can succeed. Is it to say, cool, you don't like it? Go do it yourself. And that's kind of where I was at. Because I've always been a salesman. So as a salesman, you get a percentage of your sales. And so if you sold something for $10, they gave you $1 for every $10. But look how much money they made. They made $9.
Yeah, this is true.
You know what I'm saying?
It's very true.
Like, wait a minute. Why am I the one out here beating up the streets and doing all this? And you get 90% of the share and you're giving me 10. I'm supposed to be happy? No. How about I go get that 90? And so just through the evolution of things, of just pivoting, bouncing off of that problem, you find yourself sometimes just like a pinball in a pinball machine, just figuring out where's your hole that you can get to get you home. And the motivation for entrepreneur was that. It was, don't sit at the water cooler complaining about the situation.
Make it happen.
Go get it. Make it happen.
Well,
or either deal with it.
That's me. You know what I mean? I can show you better than I can tell you.
I can show you better than I can tell you.
That's just, that's it.
Right.
Now, is there any point, you know what I mean, where, you know what I mean, like you maybe had an emotional awakening or, something like that. Some people, they have, different, someone may have passed on. Someone, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I met a car accident and I didn't think I was going to live. And when I woke up, I was this person.
Right.
Was there any time
Absolutely. Absolutely. Except August 25th, 2010. I'm the youngest of 3 boys born to Brenda Laird in Louisville, Kentucky. Man, she did everything that she could to make sure she had 3 college graduates. And August 25th, 2010, my middle brother passed away suddenly of sarcoidosis. So, never been sick.
Wow.
Father of 3. Put his kids on the bus, and blood clot. He was traveling coughing from the sarcoidosis. Blood clot traveled from his lung, and dropped dead right there in the same foyer after they walked out the door.
Man.
And up until that point, life is short.
Right.
But when you see the good guy go home,
Yeah.
and you like, wait a minute, I was the trouble kid. I was the kid that mom had to come and get back in school after every summer because they put me out. I was the kid, constantly in trouble. He was the 4.0 student. He was the one graduated from Rensselaer, Indiana, from St. Joseph. He was the father of 3. He was that guy.
Yeah.
And he's gone. And for me, it all shifted. That was a paradigm shift for me. It was a matter of, okay, at the time he was 39. And so he was 39, which would have made me 35 at that moment.
Wow.
If I don't see 40, and they take me home when they take him home, what's in the dash? And from there, it took off for me. Like, dude, I'm working
start
on the
building
dash.
now.
I'm building now.
I got to start right now.
It's now, because for me, it's just like that made no sense. Why would you take him? If you want to take somebody, take this knucklehead.
And see, I thought the same thing, man. So many times I've looked at friends and family that have passed on, and I think, dude, I'm like 40 times.
Correct.
I was 40 times worse than them.
Correct.
Like, are you serious? And like what
you
is the point of me still being? I don't get it. Like,
right.
I'm not understand how this works now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, cause I know, you know what I mean? But and like you said, when if you're awake enough to grasp that,
Right.
and say, you're right, I shouldn't be, but I am. And damn, I need to do something.
Because for me, every year after 39 is a bonus. And so people ask me how I'm so fearless. Because guess what? I look like I'm supposed to be gone at 39.
Right.
So I don't care what happens at this point. These are all bonus. I'm playing in the bonus, and that's literally how I look at it. It's not set myself up for retirement or set this kid's school up. That's too forward thinking when you have a family member that just dropped dead at 39, and you want them to say, "Yeah, I appreciate what you did." That isn't sitting back and resting on my laurels and saying, hey, let me do what's comfortable for me. If you want to pay tribute to that person that you feel like stood in the gap for you, how did I get chose? That you balls to the wall every day. When you wake up, you hit the floor and you go 100 miles and run saying, dude, if you giving me this day after 39 that he didn't get, I'm about to tear somebody a new one because they about to get everything I got. I'm leaving it on the field, and I'm gonna fall in the bed and do it again tomorrow if he gives me another one.
Yep.
And that's how we go.
Man, I like that. Yeah, I like that, brother. I do, man, because I've had my share of issues, and so I know that feeling of
Absolutely.
saying, man, you almost feel like you owe it to him.
You owe it to him.
You know what I mean? Like it's
never,
like, damn,
right.
Like I gotta go.
I gotta go, and it's almost a drive that you say, man, I'm tired, I'm crazy, but where's he at? What would he have been doing? Like, okay, cool. I got a little more in me. I got to go a little further.
Yeah.
And so that's my motivation.
Okay. Now we was talking about us as a people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, people of color, and what we could do more to help ourselves and to help one another.
Absolutely.
In the process, or working with each other or supporting, however it goes.
Either way.
You had mentioned that. What you said, how we could utilize how we could utilize each other better.
Yeah. So, I look
You
at
mentioned the stimulus too.
Yeah. So I look at COVID in a couple of different ways. I look
Okay.
at COVID is there is no greater time than now, because the mantra or the thing that normally happens in the past in history is they don't ever let us as a people get the opportunities that we would need until it's absolutely no other options.
Right.
Nobody wants it. Kind of like the block situation for me. Nobody wanted to sit there and build in that burnt up old raggedy situation. So it created an opportunity that allowed me to say, if I have enough wherewithal and vision to fight through it, it's going to come in. So I think that's where we're at as a people is if you wait until they come back into these areas, into these places that were shut down due to COVID, then guess what? You missed your opportunity to get in for your 40 acre and a mule when it's at a price or in a position where they need you. Because sooner or later, they're coming back.
Wow.
They're coming back.
Yeah.
So we can sit as a people and be in fear and wait for us to get some help from this wonderful, magical government that's going to keep sending us these stimulus checks. And we're going to say, all right, we're going to stay on unemployment as long as we can. We're going to wait for them to continue to send us $600 checks. But what are we going to do with it? We've cried about our situation, and for the first time in my lifetime, the government is paying us back, not in a return of our tax returns. But they're saying, listen, I'm going to give you something to get you through. But we too busy buying TVs and going to the mall to get our swag on and get, Do you know what you just did? You didn't stimulate anything but their pockets. Now, what we could have done is as if, regardless of your financial situation, you got $600.
Right.
So if I got $600, you got $600, he got $600, and she got $600. Hey, man, that's one check. That's $2,400.
Yeah.
You know what we could do as a people if all of us get together and put $2,000 together? You can start that business.
Yep.
You can go and get that situation. You can go and get you a lab where you can do a podcast or make your music video or do whatever.
Yep.
You have no excuse of saying, I don't have the resources now. Unless you go spend it like they want you to. Back at Walmart, back at Best Buy, back at the bar, except at the block. But this is our opportunity. This is our 40 acre and a mule. This is our time. If you wait for them to come back, you're going to miss it. If you have enough vision, you have the wherewithal, and you have the knowledge to say, them same friends that I sit around and play PlayStation with all day, they got $600. I got $600. All six of us are in here. What can we do that is our niche, that's our lane, that's our pivot to say we have $3,600 together, and if we work together, what can we do with it?
Man.
That's better than any TV you could buy. I don't know a PlayStation that can start your own business.
Yeah.
That literally, if we as a people can figure that out,
Yeah.
they be in trouble. You really buying back the block at that point.
Yeah.
You really buying back the block at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah. I definitely agree wholeheartedly with that because I know what I did with my little 600. So you know what I mean, and it went. We're sitting in it.
Right,
You know what
right,
I mean?
right.
It all went to here.
But what you're doing is you're investing back in something that is going to be able to be residual income going forward and grow your brand and grow your opportunities. That's going to bring in additional revenue instead of saying that $600 is short term.
Yeah.
Let me play the long game.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. The $600 wouldn't have lasted
not long
in the mall
at all. Not at all.
an hour.
Right.
I don't think.
Couple Jordans, True Religion jeans.
In an hour.
A new iPhone. I'm bet you out. You done. You was there all of 30 minutes.
You actually right.
Did you enjoy that? Was that fun? Did you enjoy it? Was it good? Was it good for you?
It was over.
Didn't do much. It's done.
Yeah,
It's a wrap.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
I say, you never lose it by investing in yourself.
Absolutely.
You
But
never lose.
that therein lies the other situation is you got to believe in yourself enough to know if they're going to give you $10 an hour or $20 an hour, they're getting 60 out of you. Do you believe in yourself that you can go get $60 an hour out of yourself?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now, what are some you had? That's what I wanted to ask. Why was it so important that you start your own business? And because I know if you're single, you can do whatever you want to do.
We turn
you know
up,
what I'm saying?
buy bottles.
But if you have wife and family,
Absolutely.
that you just can't walk out of the house and be like, I'm going to do this today.
Right?
No. This had to have a meeting about that.
Meeting.
So how what was the pitch?
The pitch is simple. the pitch is simple. I got 5 miles of feet. At the end of the day, my motivation is them. So as a person of African American descent, I think 80% of us had the same upbringing. We didn't have everything that we necessarily needed, and we probably only once in a while had what we wanted. And that's cool, but that's not generational wealth.
No.
Generational wealth is where my children, my children's children, my children's children's children have a lifestyle that is different than what you and I grew up on. Yep. And so that was the reason why for me is just teaching my sons, my daughters. I tell people this, I got a JV and a varsity. I got kids from 23 to 3. And so, but the older ones don't babysit their younger ones. I don't know what happened.
What y'all doing?
Right, what happened? But I go hard every day for that very reason. I want my kids to be able to be in a position, maybe they're Paris Hilton, to where you got the Hilton brand. You can go just traveling.
Exactly.
You can go be a Kardashian and just make a bunch of reality shows.
Exactly.
But to do that, there had to have been somebody who's breaking the mold. And so I'm trying to do that to where, end of the day, you got that little corner on Market Street right across from the Capitol in between the circle that whatever you dream, whatever your aspirations are, you have something that's going to fund those dreams.
See, that's exactly, man, my thing is that, I just don't want them to live like I did.
Absolutely.
And I'm not being ungrateful for, from my life. I know it could have been better.
Correct.
And I don't feel bad for saying that. It could have been better.
Right.
And that's what
our parents did the best they could.
Yeah.
But in honor of what they did and the sacrifices that they did and the basketball games that they had to go to and the registration fees that they paid and the equipment that they bought when they didn't have and the not being able to go out to eat and go to lunch because they had to bring a brown bag so they can put clothes on our back. You honor them by saying, okay, cool. Watch what I do for the next one. Watch what I do for the next one.
Yes, I think generational wealth is something that as a people we really need to dive into deeper.
Absolutely.
Because that's if you're not growing, then you can't expect anything in outcome. If you don't put in a seed,
Right.
why would you show up 6
Right.
months from now
Right.
thinking that there's going to be a plant there?
Here,
Right. You didn't put anything into it. So as a people, in order to grow, I think that is one of the main things is being able to, and I know it's hard. I you know what I mean, I know that trying to save money and you know what I mean, well, I'm gonna have this in the bank account just well, that sounds good. But in real life, most people cannot keep that the way they would like to keep that.
Not impossible.
Yeah, you know what I mean? There's just going to be stuff that happens. And, you know, as much as you don't want to dig into that, if you don't have anything else.
What you going to do?
Exactly. And so I think by putting ourselves into positions, like you said, putting yourself into a position that, yeah, okay, you know, even us doing it, you know what I'm saying? We might not have the glamorous life we wanted.
Correct.
You know what I mean? But we're creating another step for the child to come in and get a little closer.
Right.
And then if they do the same thing, that's one more step.
That's correct.
And after a while, you know what I mean, you do have these families that have something, that have built something.
Yeah. I think a lot of times, especially for people who come from impoverished situations, not necessarily all, I mean, we know it's disproportional for people of color.
Right.
But people in impoverished situations, you have this tendency to say, I don't have enough to start because I don't have enough to finish.
Right.
And so you almost plague yourself of thinking, oh, man, I can't do that because I don't have everything I need. But if you never start down the way to where it is you're going, you're never going to meet up with whatever you need to get you where it is you're trying to go.
Yeah.
If you only start when you see the end, you're never going to get there because it's already too late. You're too far from it. It's like seeing sunlight. So by the time sunlight gets to us, it happened millions of years ago.
Right.
You got to walk in what it is you want, even if you don't have it now. Walk towards it because it's going to meet up with whatever you have to get you where you want to go.
Yeah.
But it's like a timing route in football. That ball, Peyton Manning throwing, or Tom Brady, or whoever's throwing, throws that ball before that receiver even turns around.
Yeah.
But if you never start the route, you miss the ball.
Yeah. You're never going to catch the ball.
You're never going to catch the ball.
Never
You're going to
gonna
always
catch
be
the
like, man, hey, man, I never get a chance to catch the ball.
Well, you never took off. So
Wow.
you never took off the line.
You never got off the line.
You never got off the line.
If you wait till you see the ball thrown, you're already too late. You can't catch it. You won't make the mark.
Right.
So regardless of it, here's what I tell people all the time is this. If you don't have enough, what's holding on to it going to do?
Wow. Wow. Yeah. If you don't have enough, what's holding up?
You still short. But I got something.
But you can't do nothing
You can't
with
do
it.
nothing with it. But I got something. That's the mentality sometimes. It's like, I don't have enough. You know you don't have enough.
I had the same thought process when I started this. Is, you know what I mean, I was like, I can't go out and buy microphones and lights and all that.
Buy one.
I got a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't do this is impossible.
But tell them how to, which if y'all don't know, tell them how you started. You bought one.
I bought one.
And then when you could, you bought another. And then
it.
somebody else said you're pretty good at this.
And the thing of it is that, you know, by doing that along the way, you will find individuals that will say things like, that's cool, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You might say, well, I'm only up to 3 mics, you know what I mean? But I did get my one light the other day. I was able to get that. But you're going to find someone that's going to say, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. You're right there now.
Right. But if you didn't have one mic, they wouldn't give you, you won't get the second one. One will give you something you ain't even done the most you could with what you got.
Yeah. And, you know, and it might be just that little bit, you know, to say, okay.
But now look at you. You're the block podcast, and you got your own, you got the sound. That's nice. But that's the whole key. Yeah. If you don't have enough, why hold on to it? It's still never gonna be enough.
That makes sense. Why hold on? Yeah, man. And I, when you said that, I'm thinking back. You made me go back through my life. There plenty of times when I was I did exactly that.
You said, no, I ain't got nothing, so I'm going to hold on to this. It ain't enough. What you going to do with it? But I got something, but it ain't enough. It's okay. At least you got something.
Yeah.
The reality of it is we got to come out of that mentality of saying, cool, I don't have enough. If you don't have enough, the only way you can get more is if you use what you got to get to where it is the rest of it is.
Exactly.
It ain't going to happen by you holding it.
Exactly. Consistency.
Absolutely.
Stay with it. Stay with it. Okay, now, how has closing a business helped you on starting this new one?
Yeah. So
there's always lessons to be learned, no matter if it's success or if it's failure.
That's the key.
There's always a
That's
lesson
the key.
to learn. So
if there's one thing that has dominated what I would call success, it's been I'm not scared to fail. I learn more from failure than I ever do from my successes. So if I fail and I stop, then it's really a failure. You lost then.
yeah.
Not just you had a bad game. You lost if you stop.
Yeah.
But if you fail and you take what you learned from that failure and you get back up and say, all right, cool, I know what not to do the next time,
Right.
The game ain't over. The game's only over when you stop trying.
Exactly.
So I listened to, what's my man that did Fubu?
Oh, Damon John.
Damon.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
I read his book,
right.
The Power of Broke.
Exactly.
Dude, that book there?
It's enlightening, bro. But he had that mindset of saying, okay, cool. Every business I have, I'm gonna learn from it, and I'm gonna get a little bit better. I'm gonna get a little bit. I'm gonna learn some. I didn't set up that LLC right. Close that one down. Let's get to the next one. Mm-hmm. The issue that happens a lot of time with our people is that we fail that one time, and we just like, oh man, can't do that. That didn't work. I knew I shouldn't have tried that. I knew it, man. That wasn't gonna never work. But what did you learn? What opportunities did you learn? And so if there's anything that I learned, it's my failures are setting me up for my successes. If I position myself to see the pivot and navigate through it and not let my emotions get the best of me, not look for the blame game, not look for, oh, woe was me, be able to say, okay, what's next? I failed at that, but just because I lost the game don't mean I can't win the championship.
And so you've been doing this longer than I have for the entrepreneur thing, and that's the one thing that I've learned is that not to get too emotionally invested, especially in the beginning, because you tend to almost get in your own way.
Correct.
You know what I mean? It's and that might come from, you know, the little disillusion of thinking, oh, if I do this, they're just gonna hawk and they're just gonna come from everywhere.
It's
you know
coming.
I mean?
I'm gonna make it rain. It's gonna be easy.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
No, dog. I clean toilets. I just got through mopping my floor. All the construction that's at the block, I did it. So the reality of it is that limelight that you think that you're going to walk into, that's not real.
Right.
That's a fairy tale. That's on Instagram, and that's somebody took a picture in front
and
of
that limelight only comes in small pieces.
Right. So that limelight, that little 12
you're not gonna
seconds,
get the whole
right. That little
thing.
Snapchat. There's a reason Snapchat's only 12 seconds, y'all. I just want y'all to know that it's only 12 seconds for a reason, because the other 48 seconds are terrible. But if all you ever see is Snapchats and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, you're getting a small version of a 24-hour period.
Yeah.
And you're only seeing the good.
Yeah.
I need something else that's the reverse of Twitter. We're going to call it Ritter.
Yeah.
Ritter is all the other moments that you didn't take a picture of, and all the deletes.
Yeah.
You took those 10,000 shots you took to get that one
Exactly.
that was nice.
Exactly.
The real world is the rest of that.
Yeah.
The rest of that. And there's a value in that. And that's, unfortunately, in social media, what gets missed. Because all we ever post is
the finished product.
Finished product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think one of the and I had to learn
I'm gonna post
this.
a picture of when I walked in the store before. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm like, this is what the block looked like at the beginning.
But and I like I think the biggest part for me is like I said, I kind of thought that limelight was just gonna pop on, and when it didn't, it kind of hit me. I kind of got down, you know, and it took just one person, you know what I mean, to say, you know, no, this. You're right where you're supposed to be. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Just keep doing this.
Just keep doing this.
You know what I mean? Just keep going. You okay?
Right.
And then it just lifts a little bit, and you say, okay, well, I'm not doing it for nothing. All right, I'll keep going.
Somebody's paying attention.
I'll keep going.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then a little more after that, you know what I mean? And then you get a phone call and somebody says something, you know, that sounds completely crazy to you, like, hey, why don't you come, you know what I mean? We got to have you to come open this restaurant.
Yeah, open up a restaurant on the circle in the middle of a pandemic out there, burned down.
Yeah. But it lets you know that consistency of work that you've put in, it's working.
Right. And that's the joy of this situation. If we don't sell a sandwich, we don't sell a beer. The reality of it is meeting guys like yourself, some of the young folks that we've been able to hire, and seeing the faces of people saying, "Wow, you're an inspiration." Like, I never really got into it for that. That's not my motivation. Right. It's really just, all right, cool. What I got to do today to win? Like, I have to do something to win, and then to hear, you know, we hired a server who lost his job in March and hasn't been able to find a job since March. And when I was able to give him a job, and he was like, wait a minute, I'm talking to a black man who owns his own restaurant that's giving me another opportunity. And what he said is that one day I want to own my own restaurant. I'm like, come on, let's go. Let's make it happen. Yeah. And so it's stories like what I heard today from him. It's stories like what I hear from you that lets me know, regardless of whether this fails or not, which I don't think it will, but if it does, if it planted enough seed in somebody's heart that they know what you got ain't enough, so you still holding on to it ain't gonna get you where you gotta go. Right. Put it out there. Put your talent out there, and go balls to the wall, because tomorrow's not promised. There's people catching COVID and gone. Yeah. So if tomorrow's your day, and you still got talents that you ain't used, you missed it.
Yep, you missed it.
You missed it.
Yeah. I'm definitely, you know what I mean, I agree with you wholeheartedly for that, and I tell people that all the time. You know, if I fail, I'm cool.
I'm
good right. Because I know that I put in the work. I did everything that I could. I didn't slack off. I didn't, you know what I mean? I'm not going to do it today. I'm just going to lay around. No, I didn't do any of that. I did everything that I could.
Did everything I could.
You know what I mean? So if it fails.
I'm good. I'm good with that.
I'm good.
I'm good with that.
I'm not giving my best and failing, then that's going to eat me alive.
Even if you fail, you're going to be further than the person that never started.
Exactly.
So cool. Will you be in an unknown? Because that's normally what happens. We get so scared of the unknown.
Yeah.
Like, what if it doesn't happen? You fail. So what?
Right.
You start over. You figure it out. He didn't put us here to be comfortable. We're here on assignment.
Yeah, well, and and I used to listen to, I mean, you hear cats like, Gary V and, and Damon John, and you hear them talk, and then, and you're sitting there and you're sitting in your $700, apartment, and you're going, and they're telling you, well, you have to start, and you have to put in the work.
Right.
You know what I mean? To get where you want to go, but you can get there.
You can get there.
You know what I mean? With consistency and work. And you're sitting there and you're looking at them going, whatever. I would really appreciate if you shut up.
Right.
Like, because you're not speaking to me.
Right.
But they are.
But they are. Because
they are.
But the reality of it is that we still have that we don't have enough mentality of I'm gonna hold on to this just so I don't have nothing. But if your nothing's not enough of anything to get you to where you're supposed to go, why are you holding on to it?
Yeah, what's the point?
What's the point? Throw the magic dust in the air and use it. Use the pixie dust.
I say, I tell people, if I tell them your past. You know what I mean? Your past can only hold you back as long as you keep holding on to it. Why don't you just let go?
Let it go. Wow, that was deep right there, dog.
Why don't you just let go?
Let that thing go.
I say it's like somebody saying, hold this rope, and you hold it, and they take off in the car, and it starts dragging. You just keep holding the rope because no one told you to let it go. What are you doing?
Let it go.
Just let it go.
Absolutely.
That's what I mean. Some things aren't that hard.
Sometimes we make it that hard,
though. Yeah, man. But this Super Bowl Sunday.
Yes. Not this Sunday. You already tried that, dog. Okay.
Man,
you skipped a whole week. Get a week off, man.
Hey, man. I'm just trying to see what Brady could possibly do.
Hey, man, at 43,
what else he could do?
Dog,
I'm sorry.
I don't. For real. He makes me feel like a slacker. He's 43 going to his 10th Super Bowl. Like,
man, don't even sound right. Don't even sound right.
Don't even sound right.
I'm 6-3 in the Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl, buddy.
How
you like me now? No, but man, we are excited that we've been able to position ourselves to where we have a grand opening of the Block Bistro and Grill. We'll be ribbon cutting at 10 o'clock on Super Bowl Sunday, February 7th. 10 o'clock, ribbon cutting. 11, we open the doors. We got DJ Jerry Wade will be on the ones and twos. We'll be giving complimentary glasses of champagne, giveaways, T-shirts, all the way up through game. We've got 7 TVs, including a 100-inch projection TV. We'll have the game piped outside. The restaurant opens at.
Okay, so you have outside seating too?
Outside seating. We got the patio.
Okay.
So those that are concerned about COVID, and we will be doing social distancing, and we're asking everybody to wear masks. We're also going to be opening the doors, even in the common areas, so that we can get that fresh air that's going to be coming in. Okay. And we have patio seating for those that are just, want to stay away. No problem. We'll have servers that will be coming out there, servicing. We have the music piped out there. We got the game piped out there. We've got heat lamps that are going to be out there on the patio. There's no excuse. What we want to do and what we'd like to have happen is as many people that can. If it's just for 10 minutes, if it's just drive by and say,
just come check us out.
Just come check us out.
Yeah.
Come see us. We'll be available on DoorDash.
At least come feel the vibe. Just come feel the vibe.
See, you can see it from the car. Be like, ooh, they getting it in. Ooh, I can't wait till this COVID thing goes. Cause that's my seat right there. That dude is in my seat. And if you wave at us, just wave at us. Let us know you think and drive by. Hit the circle, man, and let this old country boy from Kentucky know that my belief in people doesn't supersede the fear of COVID. I believe in Indiana. I believe in people. I believe in our people, and I believe in America. And an America that looks like you and I, and an America that doesn't judge you based on what you look like or what candidates you stood by, but an America that says at the end of the day, I may not agree with you, but we're still Americans. And we just want you to come back out and see the world is still out there. And it's still the earth started spinning again.
Yeah, it's coming back around, man.
Put your mask on and let's go get it.
It's coming back around, and I'm excited for it too. Absolutely. I got some great people, man, coming on the show, man, and it just. It lets me know, man, when I speak to people like you, you know what I mean, and the people that you may know that I know, and they say, man, I see what you're doing, man, keep going, and I appreciate that, and so having you on, man, has been,
I'm just glad that that the Block Podcast and the Block Bistro getting it in together. That's what they said it couldn't be done. They said that you couldn't get minorities together and not help and lift each other up. That's exactly
Here we
what
go.
We're doing,
the block
man.
On the block.
And I can't wait. I'm putting it out there now to your listeners. We will have the Block Podcast at the Block Bistro one day before this year is out. I'm holding you to it.
Okay.
And we'll have you back.
You got it.
And I'll be back, and we'll open up the patio and have some of your listeners come and just sit on the patio and enjoy the podcast and enjoy the atmosphere.
Man, I appreciate that, man.
Man,
I actually have a episode that we do the urban flavors.
Let's go. Let's get it.
And Urban Flavors is where we actually go into the business instead of having, the person come here.
Stay tuned, buddy.
Yeah, stay tuned. The block on the block, baby. That's how we're going to do it.
Let me keep that one. The block on the block. I got to keep that one for real, man.
All right, man. Shout out, man. Any social medias or anything, man, that you want so people get in contact with you?
So the biggest thing.
Are you looking now? Do you do sponsors? Do you accept sponsors, or how's that?
You know what?
For you?
I haven't known not to accept somebody who's willing to do. Yeah. So really and truly.
I'll post the social media links anyway.
The social media
go ahead.
Everything is www.theblockbistro.com.
Okay.
You'll get to everything else from there. Facebook, Twitter, all those different things.
Okay.
Definitely always looking for sponsorship. Sponsorships like the Block Podcast. That's how we bring in and we merge this thing together.
Exactly.
The T-shirts that we have for our employees are from another Black-owned business. My personal photographer is Marquis Wilder. He's a minority business. The candles that are going to be on every table is a minority business. I've got an artist by the name of Trevor Scott out of Chicago who's going to be doing some of the artwork that's going to be on the walls.
Nice.
We are going to make it to where we're going to show that if we work together, we can turn the corner, and we don't have to, follow that mantra of we never help each other out. That's a lie.
Yeah.
You look at us
That's
today.
not. Yeah, that's not.
The block on the block's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We're gonna get you in the building, and we're gonna have a really good time. And we claim it. 21 is the year. That's our number.
Okay. All right, man. Like I said, man, it's been a pleasure, man, having you on, man. And I'll be down there this Sunday to go down there and mess with Jerry, because I always mess with Jerry when he comes.
So Jerry told us, he told me, and I'm like, dang, Jerry. He said, listen, you got to stay 10 feet away from me. Don't touch me. We just got to wave at Jerry. Jerry's going to be behind this big rope. He even talked about putting him on a TV screen. Right, so he's going to be Max Headroom. Jerry Wade's going to be Max Headroom. I said it, buddy. I put you on blast. So we just got to send shots out to Jerry because he wants to make sure he's practicing social distancing and supporting that. So we're gonna honor that. But come on down, dog. We can't wait to see you.
All right, man. There you go, guys. Man, another show, man. Terry Anthony of the Block Bistro and Grill opening for Super Bowl Sunday. Hopefully I can get this show out before. If not, I'm still going to do a live, and we'll still be down there regardless. So,
that's what's up.
All right, my man.
Appreciate your family.
Thank you, brother, for being here, man.
No doubt.
There we go.
We all need money. We all need money.